Good afternoon, everybody. So today we will look at the seminar balance scorecard seminar. So if you look at this question, we have a kebab cause food restaurant specializing in fast food products. So the restaurant has recently decided to implement a balance scorecard. So the four perspectives, if you remember them, and has established the following relevant goals for each perspective. So if you remember that when the business adopt balance scorecard, there are objectives they need to meet. Okay, so these are the four perspectives, and each perspective here they set up some goals, right? So for example, if we talk about the first perspective here, it's the customer perspective, and they have got two goals for the customer perspective. So including to increase the number of new and returning customers and to reduce the percentage of customer complaints. So we'll look at each perspective and see if the business has managed to achieve the goals or not. So of course we need some data in order to find out. So if you look at the table here, so this information for the 2020 and 2021. So number of customers, 46,400 customers. It has increased to 48,000 customers, which is a good increase, isn't it? New customers has been increased from 17,600 to 19,000. That's a good sign. The existing customers, however, has been slightly increased. It's only 200 customers. So there is a problem, really. There is a problem. In terms of customer complaints, also increased highly. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. Again, I guess this is why we saw a number of existing customers just only slightly went up. Really, that means there is a lot of complaints going on. Anyway, so we need to look at now the customer perspective. So far, guys, we have two goals we need to analyze. The first one, this one, and the second, this one. So when you go to the answers, so what you need to do, you need to put the two goals. Yeah, the first goal, to increase the number of new and returning customers. So if you look here, if we analyze it together, you can see the number has increased now. If you do the percentage, so that's if you do the percentage, so that's 19,000 minus 17,600 divided by the original 17,600. So that's almost increased by 8%, which is welcome. Great. However, in terms of returning customers, yes, has been increased, but as you see, it's only slightly less than 1%, really. Yeah, it's only less than 1%. So again, okay, why the question mark now? Because the business will invest a lot of money to acquire new customers, and after that they lose them. So there is something wrong. So as a customer perspective, the business needs to make sure that to maintain the market share. So in terms of the comment, also you need to write some comments here. Doesn't matter, you have to follow my comments. It's just up to you. It's your thoughts. So what I did say here, that the company has achieved its goals. Of course, it's achieved its goals here because we are looking here about the new customers, which is a great. 8% is amazing figure. However, as you see, it is really worrying that we see small percentage, less than 1%, that has been increased when it comes to keeping our existing customers. Now, or the returning customers, I mean. Okay, now what's the question right now? So if you do the stats, okay, if you look here, if you do the stats based on the number of customers, so if you divide 28,800 customers, if you divide it by the total customers, which is 46,400, and also you do for 2021, you divide 29,000 customers divided by 48,000 customers, you can see that from 62% 2020, so our customer represent from the total customer, from the existing or returning customer, almost 62% from 2020, that went down to 60.4 or 60.5% in 2021. So yes, the question is, so there is a problem here when it comes to the existing or returning customers. So we need to solve it. The second goal we will look at is to reduce the percentage of customer complaints. So now, as you see, the customer complaints here, it went up massively from 20 to 21, as you see. Absolutely, there's an issue going on. So if you take the percentage from the total customers, so 1,856 divided by 46,400 and 3,360 divided by 48,000. So that's almost went up from 4% to 7%. So this is a lot of percentage compared to the total number of customers. So again, it seems there is an issue and the business needs to investigate what's going on and why it's been, the number of complaints has been really, I would say, almost doubled. Right, so this is the customer perspective. So the next perspective we will look at, it is the internal business process. So we have two perspectives here we need to look at. The first one, to reduce the time taken between taking a customer's order and delivering the meal to the customer. And the second one, to reduce staff turnover. So let's have a look at the first goal. If you look here, the time taken taking order and customer receiving meal, 10 minutes in 2020, that went up to 28 minutes. Wow, that's a lot. That's almost a triple, isn't it? So it seems there is an issue. I would say I would link it with customer complaints. Would you agree? I don't know. I would say yes. This it seems why the customer complaints has been increased, isn't it? Because we have here the number, the minutes, how long it does it take to deliver the meal to the customers went up almost tripled. So this is an issue here. So again, when it comes to analysis, of course you need to write it's been tripled here from 10 minutes to almost 28 minutes. So it seems, yes, it seems there is an issue, guys, here. And I would say we need to investigate this, and why is that, and also it can be linked that why we have a lot of customer complaints there. So we need to investigate on this. Right, so the next one is to reduce staff turnover. So when I say staff turnover, means staff are leaving the job. So of course, when the staff turnover ratio is high, that doesn't look good for the business, because the staff go work in the business and they leave quickly. This is not healthy for the business. So as you see, from the percentage of staff turnover went up from 7% to 21%. Again, that's worrying. That's a triple almost. Wow, what's going on? Yeah, again. So you would say, okay, right. So that's almost a tripled, right? Almost a triple. So hasn't achieved the goals indeed. I mean, I would link this with three things, isn't it? You would say, okay, I would say, right. So we've got a staff turnover tripled. So this means we don't have enough staff, we don't have enough resources. As a result, I would say, okay, that means reduced, that time has been, increased the delivery time because there is no enough resources. And as a result, as you see, so the number of complaints have been increased. So can you see what's going on here? So three things, the three goals are connected with each other. So if you want to solve this, I would say we need to solve this first. Okay, let's go to the innovation and learning. Okay, so we have, in terms of innovation and learning perspective, we've got two goals. The first one, to increase the proportion of revenue from new dishes, right? And to increase the percentage of staff time spent on training. So if you look at the first perspective, you can see that revenue comes from the new dishes. That's almost a triple. That's amazing. Wow, that's great. From 48,000 to 158,400. That's a great, absolutely great figure. So if you take the percentage from the total revenue overall, so 48,000 divided by 440,000, 158,400 divided by 528,000. So if you took the figure, you can see that from a 20%, yeah, to 30%. So I think the restaurant has achieved a massive really increase when it comes to new dishes. Of course, this is favorable, and that's indeed will impact on the profitability of the business. Okay, the next one is to increase the percentage of staff time spent on training. So if you look here, unfortunately, it has been reduced from 14% to 6%. So unfortunately, that looks bad when it comes to staff training and staff development. And this decrease might link to staff turnover, and that might link to why we've got more time to spend on the delivery time, and as a result the customer complains. So as you see, there are four goals are connected now with each other. So I would say, okay, right, the business needs to spend more on staff training, develop staff, and as a result I would expect that the percentage of staff turnover would be lower. So if you look here, so that's exactly what we explained here, and we need the skills, and that's why we have the customer complaints has been increased. So staff needs to be trained, proper training should be offered, and also staff needs to deliver the what we call it exceptional customer service. The last two goals from the financial perspective, to increase spend per customer and to increase gross profit margin ratio. So now if you look at the increase spend per customer, you can see that if you the total revenue there in 2020, 448,000. If you divide it by total customers, and in 2021, 528,000 if you divide it by 48,000 customer overall. So you can see there is a huge increase in their spend. So that's from almost, I would say, from £9 per meal, £9 something, to £11 something. Let me see. Yeah, almost from £9.50 to almost £11 per customer. So now there's almost £2.50 extra per customer. When they come to the restaurant, they spend extra. And I would say maybe this is related to maybe to the new dishes and the new stuff available there. So it's welcome, it's great. It's an increase of 16% indeed. 11 minus 950 divided by 950, yeah, it's almost 16%. That's great, good. I would say very good figure indeed, and that will indeed will impact on the profitability of the business, and it's welcome. But again, this doesn't mean the restaurant should be happy, because there is an issue in terms of customer complaints and other staff issue needs to be resolved. The last goal, to increase the profit margin or gross profit margin. If you look at the gross profit margin, which is a profit before expenses, it's sales minus cost of sales. 88,001 to £121,440. So if you calculate the gross profit margin, which is a gross profit, 88 divided by sales revenue, 440, and this one divided by this one, so you can see the percentage has been increased, which is good. I think it's good, from 20% to 23% when it comes to gross profit margin. I think it's favorable result and favorable increase. Indeed, it's a great figure, and the business has achieved. So that the business now needs to look in terms of the expenses, of course, and we don't have really available figures in terms of operating profit margin and net profit margin to see. But when it comes to gross profit margin, it's favorable increase and it's welcome. So conclusion, I would say, what do you think? I mean, think about it. If you look here, you can see that all the financial figures are welcome. So in terms of gross profit margin, in terms of revenue, are welcome. They're doing well, really. However, as you see, when it comes to non-financial performance, non-financial measures, they are not doing really well. I mean, look, customer complaints, look at the staff issues, the efficiency in time for delivering the meal, staff turnover, training. So as you see, there's a lot of issues, and there is nothing really welcomed when it comes to non-financial measures. The question is, what you need to advise them? Yes, you are doing great financially, great, but remember that favorable increase will not last forever. Will not last forever, right? At one stage, the profit will be falling and the business will suffer financially if they didn't really improve the non-financial measures. So the business for it at the moment, they need to focus and invest in non-financial figures in order to keep and maintain this market share and maintain the long-term profitability. So that's all, guys, to do with balance scorecard seminar. So hopefully how can I say, you understand the points, how balance scorecard could be applied in the real world. Thank you very much. God bless.